What's up, everyone? Today is July 13th. It's a Tuesday. I'm going to be going over the 3 or 4 trades I took today, just an in-depth analysis of all the entries, exits, and the reasoning behind why I took everything. I'm going to try to structure things as objectively as possible because, the more you can objectify things in trading, the easier it becomes. The more you can put a systematic process to everything, the easier it'll become. So let's start off with let me start off with higher time frame analysis. Took a couple of trades today. First one was on Tesla. So my thesis on Tesla was quite simple. We have a very, very key level on Tesla. 692.8 has multiple tests. Let me just zoom in. So this level has multiple tests. Our next fresh supply zone is 707. If we can get through this level, we'll see 700, then we'll see 707. Next one was on Microsoft. Oh shit, my bad. Did I delete I must have deleted the level. Okay, but the level was 280.5. Don't know why I deleted it. So Microsoft had a key level here at 280.5. It had 1, 2, 3 tests. Broke through the level, retested it. Now it's acting as support. So this is a very, very solid play. Next trade was on Shopify. Shit, my bad. Major key level at 1534. I entered slightly before prior high of day, anticipating the prior high of day break, and then anticipating the 1534 break. I'll go over in detail the entries and exits after I finish the last one, which is Amazon. So I changed the level because the level is now shifted, but at the time the level was 3750. So I'm just gonna mark that for video purposes. I think it's 3751.8 was the exact level. So I'm just gonna keep it up for video purposes. But this level had multiple tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Broke through it. Not a lot of continuation, but if you catch a nice move on Amazon, then the contracts pay very, very well. So that's just a higher time frame analysis of it. Keep in mind, it's not too complicated. Just finding major key levels on a 1 hour time frame with no fresh supply zones above, and then targeting the fresh supply zones after we break the major key levels. Okay, so let's go now to all of my plays on a smaller time frame. So my first play came from Tesla right off the open. I absolutely got killed on this play. I lost a good amount of money on this. I think 50% loss on the contracts, which is a big deal for me. But I did bounce back and end the day green. So again, the thought process was pretty simple. Tesla had a nice move. It was strong in pre-market as well. NQ and ES were gapping down. Tesla held value, slightly gapped up. So letting me know that buyers are clearly in control for Tesla. So my thought process was, okay, I want to enter slightly before the 692.8 to 694 breakout, anticipating a continuation higher. As you can see, this trade did not work out. And while some people thought that, okay, this is just an unavoidable loss, the setup looks good, nice momentum through this level, we should have breaking. This trade was actually avoidable. And the reason for that is one of the intraday clues told me not to play this. So I got ready for tomorrow, but if I show you NQ at the time had 4 hour supply right here. So I'm just gonna mark that, and keep in mind this green box at the time is supply. So the key thing to keep in mind is NQ came into fresh 4 hour supply and then rejected it, had an upper wick, right? So why would I play Tesla calls? Yes, the setup looked beautiful considering the pre-market action, but why would I play Tesla calls above this level knowing that NQ had fresh supply right above? Obviously we pulled back and broke through it, but if we did not have this fresh supply zone, which is now broken, NQ would have had a nice run off the morning, and Tesla would have correlated, and I would have caught a nice piece. And this would have been a nice winning trade, most likely. However, NQ had fresh 4 hour supply above, and that's why Tesla had this massive wick and rejection, and that's why I took this major loss. So this loss was completely avoidable. I just wasn't completely focused off of the morning, and I paid. The, it's it happens to everybody, but it's kind of disappointing knowing that I'm still making small mistakes like these, and I have to fix them now. Nonetheless, I always wait for 5 minute candle closes, so I stopped out right here. But something I've been learning and backtesting is that whenever I play things right off of the open, or whenever I play things with like immense amount of increased volatility, if it doesn't go right away, just stop out. You can always reevaluate and enter later. So that was Tesla. Not a bad play, but could have been avoided knowing NQ's action. Next play came from Microsoft. So Microsoft did not have a single red candle through the breakout. It had a nice move up, nice volume. If you compare this volume to previous days, you can see that it is clearly elevated. So Microsoft had nice volume towards this level. At this time, look at what NQ is doing now. NQ broke through NQ broke through its fresh supply zone. ES also broke through its fresh supply zone. So now I know that buyers are clearly in control. Yes, ES and NQ were still at fresh supply when I took Microsoft, but I know that there's no sell reaction from supply, and buyers have completely taken control, and hence there's a high probability chance that Microsoft is going to work out. So as soon as I saw this nice move up on nice volume, I was looking for some sort of entry before the 280.5 breakout, because I knew all-time highs was around two. I knew all-time highs was let me try to find it. It was actually 280.69. So I knew in this general area retail was gonna chase. So I wanted to enter right before them. So what I did is, I went down to 1 minute time frames to find a potential entry. What I found was a nice flag pattern right here. Took the breakout of this flag. Let me switch back to 5 minute now. Scaled out accordingly, scaled as we broke 280.5. And then my final target was actually, I think it was 282. So I took more profit at 281. And my final scale out was on this candle right here. You're probably wondering, knowing that I'm able to hold through things. My issue really isn't like patience. My issue is I tend to avoid some of the key factors during market context. But knowing I have the ability to hold through things, the only reason I took my final position off here is because I saw Amazon setting up. And comparatively to Microsoft, Amazon has much bigger moves. Premiums move a lot more in Amazon. So I already caught a nice chunk of Microsoft. So I decided to just exit my final contract here and switch over to Amazon. Some may call that, I missed out another $2 or $3. But to me, I'm completely fine with that, knowing that there's another good setup forming and knowing I can catch another premium spike. So that was Microsoft. It was a pretty solid play in my opinion. At the time I took Tesla, I was down 502. I recovered, I believe, 230 or 220 of that back. So just waited for my setups to occur. This one hit and I capitalized. Next setup was on Amazon. Give me a second. Let me close it. All right. Next setup was on Amazon. So very, very similar thought process. Amazon moved from 3,700 all the way till 3,745. Had a $45 move up. Volume doesn't look the best, but I mean there still is nice volume, and we are consolidating. So something to keep in mind is when we're consolidating, we're always gonna have lower volume. But nonetheless, we moved up $50 and we had somewhat decent volume, especially compared to previous days. This volume is clearly greater than previous days. So I like the fact that Amazon had good volume and it had strength. And on top of that, both ES and NQ were in a clear uptrend. So looking objectively, we have good volume, we have the market supporting us, and we have the equity itself being strong. So this was a level at the time, 3751.8. And what I'm doing is, I want to enter slightly before this level. And then we had all-time highs, which was at 33,760. So I knew retail was going to chase there. So my entry was pretty solid. I saw a 5-minute flag. I entered on the break of the flag right here. I only played one contract because it's a Tuesday and Amazon contracts are pretty expensive. So I entered at 9.06. My take profit area was 3750, or if we broke this, then 3760, which was all-time highs. Broke through my first take profit area, hit all-time highs, rejected, retail got killed up here. Sold my contract to retail for a price of 13, so I capitalized on a nice 40-50% move. So Amazon was a super solid play. Entry was perfect, exit was perfect, analysis was also perfect. So I'm super proud of this Amazon trade. So at this point, I've recovered my Tesla loss, and I'm up $100 or $113 on the day. I was planning to call it. I set alerts, and another one hit. It was Shopify. I really really like trading Shopify. I know the spreads are a bit whack, but when Shopify moves, it provides nice moves on the premiums. So same thing. Shopify moved from 9:30 all the way to about my entry at 10:40. It had moved close to $30-40. So same thing. Shopify is in a clear uptrend. It's strong. It has increasing volume. Let me highlight this for you. This is what really caught my attention. The fact that Shopify was increasing towards the level with increasing volume. On top of that, as I covered, SPY and Qs are strong. So now I'm just looking for an entry point. I wanted to enter slightly before prior high of day and then anticipate the 1534 breakout. So my entry, I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit aggressive, but in my opinion, it was still a valid entry. So as soon as we set this 5-minute rally base, I saw that buyers took us down, and then we immediately got bought back up in the next minute or so. So I knew buyers were clearly in control. Entered here. I got a pretty nice fill on Shopify, considering the spreads were so bad. Entered two close to 5.96. Scaled one out at I think 6.5 as we moved to 1530. Then we pulled back. We tried testing 1530 again, but we couldn't hold value. So I said that okay. I wanted the 1534 breakout. However, it doesn't look like we're going to get there today. So I accepted that, and I took profits at 1530, so close to here. And this wasn't a big win. This was only a $70-80 win because my exits and my fill prices for them were horrible. I mean, I missed out on another $100-150 just because of my fills. But nonetheless, this was like a $70-80 winner, and I'm pretty proud of it. Considering the fact that I accepted that we weren't willing to move higher, and sellers just stopped us at 1530. So those were the 4 or 5 trades I took today. I am still disappointed by that Tesla trade. Knowing we had fresh supply on NQ, I still took this trade and I paid the price. But it's fine, I got the loss back, and it's just I just have to accept that and move on for the rest of the week. But I'm gonna end the video here. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up on DM. I'm just trying to be as real as possible. Sorry if the video isn't scripted or anything like that. I'm just trying to provide my real thoughts and emotions and my analysis for how I view the market. So I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.